Hey everybody, this is me, Sherry, and I've come to introduce you to the new me. And I first of all just want to start out saying that for the first time in my life I'm able to say that I love myself. And I didn't know that the love that God had for me was already in me. So I spent the majority of my life wanting to be seen, desiring to be heard, needing to be noticed. I wanted the acceptance and approval of people so much because I felt inadequate and I felt small. I felt like my life didn't matter to anyone. And of course, I had loving parents. I had a great childhood. But I also had some trauma. I had what felt like torment from the devil for such a long time. And I thought that was the sum total of my life. And what I've been through, which was molestation, verbal abuse, bullying, I self-sabotaged. I lived with self-hatred and self-loathing for such a long time. And in short, I felt that I was a victim of circumstances that I had no clue what was going on. At a very early age, I was molested. From the ages of 3 to 11, I felt like a snail waiting to be stepped on. I didn't have no reason to try to make friends. It was pointless to me. But I learned at an early age how to make myself happy. But I do know now that I was suffering from an identity crisis. I didn't know who I was. I didn't even know what shoes I liked or anything. I thought that if I loved people, that they automatically loved me back. And I found out the hard way that that just was not true. No matter how much you do to be seen, to be heard, to be noticed, and to be loved, no one can or ever will love you more than God and the love that you have for yourself. I didn't know this, but when God, in all of his power and might, by his Spirit, said, okay, enough is enough. And he showed me love like I never experienced love from anybody. I felt so insignificant, like a nobody. I felt like I was nothing completely. And I lived my life trying to please other people, trying to make other people happy. And in the process of that, I lost myself. And I needed to be found and didn't even know that I needed to be found. I had so much repressed and suppressed pain inside of me that it seems when I look at it now that it would be impossible for somebody like going through what I went through and what you even may go through or gone through to love anybody else, let alone yourself. I didn't know what love really felt like. I didn't know that God loved me. I didn't know that God was always with me. But when I look back over my life, I had a moment of clarity, and I realized that God was with me in it all, through the verbal abuse, and not from my parents, let's make that clear, but through verbal abuse, the bullying, and all the self-hatred that I lived with for so long, it entrapped me. And I was in bondage and didn't even know it. And I got hurt, and I don't blame nobody for hurting me, but I got my feelings hurt. I was easily offended, and I felt that if I hurt myself, that I wouldn't feel so bad if other people hurt me, but that really was not true. I wanted so much to be loved. I wanted to feel that love. I wanted to know that that love was real for me. And I tried so hard. I tried. When I was a teenager, I was about 19. I was pregnant with my oldest child. I tried to commit suicide. I tried to take about 14 Advils. I had a knife, and I had ran the bath water as hot as it could get. And my intent was to get in this water, take them pills, and let nature take its course. I wanted so much to not be here, because it felt like to me that I was just existing. I didn't know that God really loved me. And we all go through pain, and our situations may be different, but pain is the same wherever you go. It hurts like hell. And I didn't realize it until on one time when I was heartbroken over love that did not exist, that God reached down inside of me. It had to be Him. And He reminded me in that very moment when I sat outside my mother's back porch, and I was crying so bad because the person that I love, it just broke my heart. They didn't love me back. And I didn't know that they could not give me something that they did not have within them. So I don't blame them. I didn't blame them. But it just felt like, to me, confirmation of the rejection that I already felt anyway. And I'm here to tell you that pain can cause you to do desperate things. It caused you to do desperate things. And God reminded me that I should not have to fight for something that He already freely gave me. But I realized that I had to go through all of that in order to find God. It may seem like an odd thing to say, but I'm grateful for everything that happened that led me to Him. And when I first got saved, I was 20 years old. My son was 3 months old. And at the time, I had just got news that my brother had got shot. So I was feeling pretty down already. And I was sitting in that church, and something in me just pulled me up. And I walked down that aisle, not knowing what was next. And so after I got saved, I was on fire for God. I was only 20 years old, but I was on fire, and I was ready. I hit the ground running. I worshiped God. I praised Him, and all of these things, and not even thinking. It was coming out of me, and I didn't know where it was coming from. But there was a love that was ensued from God that was working, that was at work in me. And so I held on to it. I latched on to it for dear life. And I said, look, if there is a God and He loves me, I want all of Him. I want to experience everything that he has for me. I wanted it. And I said, well, if I do this and I do that, then I'll get this and I'll get that. But the truth of the matter is that it didn't happen the way that I wanted it to happen. But over time, when God broke up the fallow ground and allowed me to see him, that I began to notice that I was singing when I had no reason to sing. There was no special events that was happening that caused me to want to sing. I just would sing. And I would sing, and I would sing, and I would sing. And the more that I sang to God from my soul, I would feel better. And I realized that the closer I got to him, the more I began to experience his love for myself. And I'm here to tell you that God's love changes things. God's love changes you from the inside out. And I know that I thought that people were hurting me. I wanted other people to make me happy. But I was doing a pretty poor job of doing it myself. So even if there was somebody that crossed my path that was actually showing me love, I didn't recognize it. So I went about my life still, trying to please everybody, trying to do everything just right, hoping to be seen, noticed, heard, accepted, and loved. But the truth of the matter is that all of those things, no human being that's just as broken as we are can ever give us the complete and whole love that God gives. I felt as though my voice did not matter. So even though I had acquaintances and people that I called friends, and I had all those things, but I didn't realize that the love that I really needed was already on the inside of me. And I remember a time that I was raped by someone I didn't know, and I was left by someone I called my best friend. And I did not know what was going on. I went with her somewhere to a cookout, and I looked around, I seen there was no cookout. It's like we were the cookout, we were the food, and I didn't even realize it. But I'm thinking I'm just out for a good time, so I didn't think no more of it. But what happened is that I went in there, I'm sitting around, I didn't know anybody there. She had came and picked me up, and even before she came and picked me up, I met someone and was talking and conversating with them. There was nothing to it. So the guy gave me his card, I put it in my back pocket, and I'm sitting here at this supposed cookout, and I drank 3 sips of a beer called Mickey. And 3 sips out of that beer blacked me out. And I woke up with my legs in the air with someone having sex with me. And I went into a total shock. And when I went into that shock, my eyes, just tears just began to fall. And I blacked out again. And when I woke up, it was the next day. And here I am somewhere, I don't know where I am, I don't have no money. I didn't have anyone to call but the person that I came with. And when I called her to ask why she left me, she said, well, you said you wanted to leave. And I was in fury and enraged with her. And all I could say was, Girl, I came with you. Why would you leave me somewhere with people I don't know? For all I know, the whole house of men could have raped me. For all I know, because I was blacked out. But even in the midst of that, I called her and I'm talking to her and I'm saying these things and I'm just wound up hanging up the phone with her. I called a male friend that I knew for some time and I was explaining to him about it and he was like, well, I think you wanted that to happen and, basically telling me that I got what I deserve, that he wasn't going to come and pick me up. So he was mad at me for his own selfish reason. But anyway, I wound up reaching in my back pocket and finding that card of the gentleman that I met when I was waiting on her to pick me up. I called and I told him, I said, I don't know where I am. I don't have any money and I have no one else to call. But I need to get home. And he came, he said, was there anybody around you? The person that actually had raped me was sitting right there. And so, long story short, he came and picked me up. I got in the car and tears streaming down my face. As tears are streaming down my face, he asked me, are you okay? And I said nothing, I just kept crying. He said, never mind, you don't have to tell me. So he takes me home. And when I get out of the car, I was not even 5 feet away from the car before I turned around and looked, and it was like the car had just vanished in the thin air. And I started to cry again because I just wanted to tell him thank you, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out where in the hell did that car go that fast. I didn't even hear him pull off. So I went in the house. And then I began to weep some more. And I realized then that God had sent an angel to me. He rescued me as he had in times before that. And I was only 22 years old. But I'm sharing this with you to say that God is always with you. If you are his child, he will always be with you. He may not take you out of the situation. He may not even change the situation. He'll just show up. And because he showed up, I was able to show up for life. That's just one of many miracles that I experienced with God, where God was showing me him. He was showing me that he was there, and I didn't even pray. So I want anyone that is listening to know that real love comes from God, and that God is only a prayer away. And even when you don't call him, you may cry on the inside, that pain or something in you will cause you to rise up again, and you will no longer tolerate nor accept a closed fist or an open hand on your face, bruises on your body, being raped and left for dead. God loves you, and there is nothing that he will not do for you. He just wants us to know that he loves us more than life. Now, I don't feel like I need other people's acceptance or approval. I no longer want to live in the shadow of other people's opinions. I'm no more hungry or thirsty to be seen, to be heard, or to be noticed, let alone to be loved. Because I found out that through all of that, God was there. And even though He let me go through some painful things, He didn't let me kill myself. I know that He had to save me because the desire to save myself and to live was not in me. It had to be Him. So anyway, I'm here. And that is my testimony, that I'm still here. That God loves me, flaws and all. And He feels the same way about you. So you don't have to put on a brave face and smile on the outside and go home and cry your eyes out and pray for death because life has beat up on you. So even though you experience some speed bumps, you experience moments where it seems like there's a cloud of darkness just following you everywhere you go, that there is light and there is hope. But it is only found in God. There is no relationship that you can have with another human being that can compare with the love that God has for you. You can be whoever God has created you to be. You can live life with joy and happiness. You can still live with the knowledge, and not just head knowledge, but the encounter and the experience of God's undeniable love that will reach through hell to get you. And I'm here because God kept me, because He saved me, because He loved me. So now I can confidently say that I am loved. And God loves you, flaws and all. No matter what you've done, His love is not predicated on our performance, whether we behave right all the time, whether we cross every T or dot every I. It does not define God's love for us. We're not a surprise to Him, and there's nothing we can do to impress Him. We can't convince Him or coerce Him into loving us, into doing for us what we cannot do for ourselves. But we've got to stop leaving God out of our lives until we think we need Him. God knows your address. He knows the pain that you hide. He knows every tear, every prayer that is said with your heart. He knows every sort of shame, degradation, and humiliation that you suffer through, and He wants to rescue you. But we have got to know that God loves us, and He will never leave us nor forsake us. For He is faithful. He's faithful to perform His word. So if you don't know Him, I beg you, I beseech you, please, try Him. Don't get yourself together. Don't think you got to get yourself together to come to Him. Come just as you are, and let Him, the great fixer-upper, get you together. And once you experience the undeniable, unfailing, and satisfying love that only He can give you, then you will begin to experience real freedom. And you can live the abundant life that He sacrificed His Son to give you. That's all for now. God bless you. And may He cause His face to shine on you and ignite the fire within you. And His light and His love shine all around you and cause you to live. I love you. I love you with the love of the Lord. That's all for now. Until next time, stay blessed.